Okay. Welcome everyone to the first ever HTML All the Things Twitch stream. I'm Mike, one of the hosts of the HTML All the Things podcast. Just decided to try something new today, honestly, and want to do a little bit of a Twitch stream going through some Vue.js search functionality. Just going to be doing kind of like a basic setup of a Vue project first, then we're going to look at some API integration, and then we're going to implement a search with a grid style layout. So it should be fun. I don't know. You can let me know how fun it is, and we'll go from there. So this is the first time I'm ever streaming. We've done a lot of podcasts, so I have some speaking experience, but usually it's to someone else. I've done a solo podcast or two, so that will hopefully help me. But I don't have really any structure other than this little to-do list that I have right here. So yeah, I think we should get started. I have a completely kind of new setup account on my computer. I'm going to kind of take you through the process of, a clear install. I do have a few of the libraries installed, kind of like and Node is installed, as you can see down here. I believe Vue will be probably installed. Vue is not recognized. Well, yeah, it's fine. It runs under npm. It's fine. So everything's kind of installed. Should be good to go. The only thing that we'll be doing is setting up a Git repo from the right beginning. So let's get right to it. Let's get into Git. So I believe I should already be logged in. So I am. So the reason that it's in Digital Dynasty is because that's our agency, web agency company that Matt and I started, I think like 6 years ago. And Matt's actually talking in the chat right now. So if you're in the chat, you can hit him up. He'll answer some questions for you, or you can hit me up in the chat and I'll answer some questions for you. We can all answer questions together, hold hands and answer questions, all good. All right. Let's take a look and let's start a new repository, shall we? Repository name, let's do Twitch stream 1 Vue search. Something stupid like that. Let's make it public because we'll want to share this out so people can actually take a look and create a repository. A lot of this is going to be me kind of stumbling through things as well, because I don't start new repositories every 5 seconds. I will be Googling stuff that seems really simple to everyone. Or some people it might not, but just bear with me. It's going to be a bumpy ride probably for my first stream. And it might be a bumpy ride for all my streams. We'll see. So let's check this out. So what do we need to do right now is actually pull this stream down. And create an init repo. So let's init something from the command line. Go in here. CD. Let's actually create a working directory. I kind of like to work from documents in Windows. Working directory. Then let's ls. Take a look at what I have. CD documents, working directory, and then let's just create all that. Some refs. Failed to push some refs to GitHub image account. Master does not match any. Global. Please tell me who you are. Yeah, that makes sense. I do need to run the git config since this is a brand new account. So let's do that. My name is Mikhail Karan, and oops. Technically, my email is not your email, so I'm gonna have to redo that. Give me a second here. Okay, so let's try that again. Remote origin already exists. Yep. Okay. Okay, for my password, I'm just going to take it off screen. And then it's... Yeah, so essentially we just need to create and get our repo up and going. Hopefully it'll create that README for us to start. And then we got a CD into that. Did it create anything for us? Working directory. Oh, it created it right in here. That's not great. Whatever. I'll fix that off stream. Don't want to bore everyone. New error or message every damn project I start. Yeah, Matt, that is 100% true. Every time you set up a new repo, because it's not something that you do every day. That's the thing. Like with anytime you're starting a new project, at least for me, it's something that I do pretty rarely, like, a few times a year probably, because I work on so many existing projects. So it's always going to be kind of like a little bit of a process, but we get to it and that's fine. You know what? I kind of want to fix this right away. So let me just create a new folder for this repo. Let's call it Twitch Stream 1 for now. Let's put the README in there. Although I have to remember to do hidden files. Both Mac OS and Windows both have that issue where they don't default show hidden files, and you could get screwed like that. Like if I were just to move the README into that folder, it wouldn't recognize that it's a Git folder. But since I moved the Git into there, now if I go in and cd Twitch stream, it'll actually recognize that it's a Git. And what I'm going to do is, you know what? I'll try it from the command line, but I think it's going to open up the regular VS Code. Right now I'm using Visual Studio Code Insiders. And Visual Studio Code Insiders actually allows me to do some preferences syncs so that I don't have to, reinstall my extensions and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of switched to it for now. Once the preferences sync is upgraded to the regular Visual Studio Code, I'll probably go back to it because I like stability. But that's fine. So what I want to do now is just open up code right where we're at. Yeah, see, it does. It opens it up in the regular code because that's where my path is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it manually, like a pleb. Yeah, sure, save. That's fine. You can save it just in documents. Fine by me. All right, so we got ourselves a brand new project. Nothing in it. Nothing initialized. Just realized that this might be a problem too. So we'll see about that. So what we're going to go into here is we need to initialize a Vue.js project. That's easy enough to do. So let's just get that code in here. Get started. Installation, I believe it should be installed, but we'll kind of tackle that bridge when we get there. What we want to do is we want a new project, not necessarily installing. We just want a new project. npm, actually, yeah, the CLI. That's what we need. Vue CLI. Thank you. Going through docs like a maniac over here. Get started. We just want a new creating a project. All right, perfect. So let's copy that. And again, we might have to go through some troubleshooting here because what it's going to do is it's going to create a folder inside of a folder, and I might have to go around that. And the other thing it might do is Vue might not actually be installed on this user account, so I might have to create that user account. So for now, whatever, Twitch Stream 1 is going to be inside Twitch Stream 1. Yes, that's what I thought. Vue CLI and Vue are probably not installed, so let me just quickly install Vue. Again, bear with me. This is going to be a heck of a ride for people that are extremely experienced. But for people that are just starting out, I think this is going to be a good indication of where we're at kind of thing with this. So let's first install Vue. Okay, what's going on here? npm install Vue. You know what? Actually, npm install Vue dash global is what I kind of want. Yep. Then what I want to be able to do is then install Vue CLI. So let's go back there, back to Vue CLI, installation, npm install -Vue CLI. See, the -G is for global. Kind of always storage in some cases. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't know what gets kind of globally installed. I'm just answering Matt's question in chat, but sometimes stuff gets globally installed, sometimes stuff doesn't. I don't really keep attention, like keep a mind on that, because I only use one account usually. But now, since we're starting streaming, I set up multiple, like another account, and kind of going from there, starting this all together, brand new. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Let us know in chat if you don't like something, like if the sound is off, if the video is weird, anything. If you want the text to be bigger, let us know, because again, this is our first chat. So, our first chat. This is the first time I've ever talked actually in my life. So this is my first chat with everyone. But no, this is our first stream, so it's going to be kind of janky and a little bit weird. But yeah. Let us know what you want changed. If you want more action, less action, like am I going too fast for you? Let me know. I doubt I'm going too fast for anyone though, because I'm also making like 1,000 mistakes along the way. And I'm going to have to backtrack quite a bit after this, but we'll see. Okay, so let's go back to Vue Create Twitch Stream 1. Of course, it's not recognized. It's great. Why isn't it not recognized? Vue CLI is there. Function script spelling, yeah. Vue create. Why is Vue not in path? Maybe, I don't know. I probably need to check my path, but you can check the right version with that command. Yes. Oh, actually, you know what? I might need to garbage this terminal. Start a new terminal. And then check Vue version. Nope, still garbage. Just quickly do some troubleshooting here. Command prompt, Vue, what is it? --v. Vue is not recognized. So still not being recognized. Okay, let's Vue update, Vue global upgrade. So we got to figure out how to make sure that Vue is fully installed. We got a node, so we know that. We thought we installed Vue, but apparently it did shit all for installations. Let's see here. Installation. Give me a node installation of Vue. npm install Vue, yeah. But that's a single file view, so you have to do a -G. So let's just do it again just for fun. And -G. So it says it's updated, it says it's installed. Let's check our path, I guess. Nope, not the yeah, let's check Pathfinder, the roleplay game. Totally what I wanted. Thank you, Windows. Just going to do this off to the side for security reasons. And all right. Environment variables. I don't really care if you see my environment variables, to be honest. You can see all of them if you want. Path. VS Code Insiders. So it's interesting that my VS Code Insiders is in the path, but it's probably because both of them are in the path is the problem. But what am I doing here? Where's the path here? CMD. You see Node.js is in the path. This is the VS Code that's actually in the path and screwing everything up. So that's good. So why is Vue not in the path? So we got to add it into the path. New. Browse. Let's try to find it. So where would it be? Would it be in the users? Probably not. Probably be in something like app data. Where would actually, you know what? I'm not going to go on a blind search. It would be in node modules. Node modules, I believe. Folder Windows. Where would the Windows folder be located? No modules, npm, install location. App data. Yeah, that makes sense. npm. Okay. Let's just quickly check there. This PC. So it is in users, right? Yeah. See users, stream account. This is probably why some of the stuff doesn't get carried over, is because of this user account stuff. Like, I'm sure. Solilo. Okay. User account stuff. Then we want npm packages. No, that's not it. Local roaming. npm. Here we go. Node modules. Vue. There we go. So we want the path of that. No modules, and then Vue at the end. That's fine. Go to path variables. Actually, we can just find it in here as well. Stream account, app data, roaming, npm. This is exciting stuff, right? Like, everyone, this is amazing. Okay, so theoretically, if we garbage that terminal, view -- version should still not work. Of course not. Why would it work? Why would it work? We have to actually go in there and see if Vue is even in here. It might be in distribution. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try /dist or source. So Vue, let's try /dist. Yeah. So the environment variables, path, npm modules, edit, browse. Let's do this again. SPC. We're going to get this. This is going to be a valuable lesson to someone. Probably me, more than anyone else. But we're going to get it. Something that I don't do very often. Again, like, it's one of those things that just... distribution. Okay. Again. Garbage that. Open it up. View -- version. Good. Let's go cmd. Or even git cmd. View -- version, just to make sure. No, we can't find it. I mean, it's finding it there, but that's not the correct one. So now we got to do some more troubleshooting. Add view to path. Probably should have wrote Windows there, but that's fine. Yep. This is 100% part of the project. Commands there. That's not necessary. Oh, installs the Vue packages. You're probably missing the bin path. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, I understand that, but where's the... No, that's not what I want. Maybe it is. I don't know. Number one problem with libraries, frameworks. Yeah, I know. It's frustrating because I've done this so many times. Then use Vue in it. Vue is not... Yeah, I understand. But it's still... Okay. npm view install CLI service. So maybe I do need to just do this again. -G? Maybe not. Like, theoretically. This is what I've done a million times on multiple machines, and it's worked. So hopefully it works this time. It's doing something. Even though I've already done this. The other problem is I already have it on my other account, so that could be conflicting maybe. I don't know. Good. 26 minutes in. Can't even start. I mean, this is not going to work, but view, delete, view dash version. Yeah, okay. This is a good one. This is going to kill me. This is it. This is it, boys and gals. View is not recognized. npm version, no version. Yeah, well, problem. Deleting everything related to Vue CLI installed before and reinstalling Vue CLI. Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Just deleting everything and reinstalling is exactly kind of the thing that I always do. So let's do that. Let's go to Vue and let's just delete Vue. And see what happens. Jeez, there's a lot of files. Like, look at that. That can't be very efficient. It's just like, you can't have 1,000 billion files in there. 48 minutes of troubleshooting. I know. I understand this is part of the stream process, and I'm okay with it. I am accepting it because it's the first stream, and I knew it was going to be kind of a glitchy stream. I just thought that I would get stuck a little bit farther down when I was actually coding and not in, nowhere land. So let me just do that and see what it does. No, they don't require a restart. Usually, what they do is they require a restart of the terminal. So as soon as you restart the command prompt in the terminal, it should take into place. But even then, sometimes I don't need to do that. So who knows? Honestly, it's all up in the air right now. We'll see. We shall definitely see if this works or not. Okay. So theoretically, skipped a bunch of dependencies. Let's just make sure that it downloaded. So it only did the @Vue CLI service. So we probably still need to. That's weird. We probably still need to view dash version install Vue. So let's do that. Vue npm install Vue. The interesting thing is that it's installing it inside of no modules as well. So Vue's in there. So I could actually do it from a local distribution, but let's just see dash version. Yeah, it's still not doing it. And then npm install Vue -g will just install it in that same folder and probably give me the same problem. I'm going to get this. Yeah, added package. Yeah, I understand. And it's probably in there now and everything fine and dandy, but it's not in the correct spot. So node modules, great. npm, great. Oh, it's right there. Oh, that's what I need to do. Did it do it correctly? No, what I need to do is actually get it so that it's going into node modules. That's all. Now, theoretically, actually, no, not even node modules. My bad. Just npm, because that's where the Vue installer actually installs it. I'm going to get this. I'm going to show you a thing or two about people getting frustrated. Really simple problems. Again, I'll throw that off to the side. Try to be somewhat mindful of security. I'm probably going to slip up and lose all my passwords and stuff, but that's fine. I mean, that's part of life, right? That's what everyone says. Everyone just slips up and loses all their passwords once in every lifetime, and then never recovers again. Still not there, but still possible that, again, I might need to do a view dash version. Okay. Getting somewhere. Like, what the hell is this? It's getting to the node modules @Vue CLI. Yeah. And it's throwing an error in module.js. What is going on now? Vue create Twitch stream1. Oh, good. Vue is not recognized still in this commandlet. I understand. Split terminal, kill terminal. I've already killed it. Select default shell. Let's do git bash just for the hell of it. And let's start another shell. Vue -- version. So it's going to view command not found. Oh, yeah. Oh, is it the... Is the ASMR from my keyboard, or is the ASMR from me just being angry at the thing and being super close to the mic and talking quietly? Or is it everything? Is it everything? Am I just being ASMR right now? I wonder if there's a both. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so technically, I mean, it should be working. Again, path. There's one more thing I can try. I can add the path to environment variables. So one sec. Not those environment variables, but the... See, these are the user variables. That's not what I want. This is the problem. These are user variables for the admin account. I need the user variables for my account that I'm currently on. That's, I think, is the problem. Because in here... Do they have it? No. So that shouldn't matter anyway. But in here, path, stream account, roaming, npm. That's where it should be. Node.js, move up. Let's just move this up. Because it's probably hitting this one and saying that it doesn't have permissions to do it. That's my guess. This is what I was worried about with creating a new account. Vue -- version. No, view command, that's not, it's fine, yep. Vue -- version. This is great. Vue -- view create view test. Yeah, so it's just throwing, so it's seeing what I'm asking it to see, but it's just not working. So good old git bash. Yeah. Yep. This is fantastic. Okay. Let me think of a way to do this that doesn't involve me throwing my hands up in the air like I just don't care. Okay. One thing I can do is, couldn't I do this Vue -- version? No. CD to that? CD has too many arguments. Really? CD C? Okay. Then CD users, and then stream account, and then app data. This guy, stream account, yeah, app data. App data, then roaming, then npm, okay, and then view -- version. Is this gonna work? Still doesn't see it, even though it should see view right there. So this is like, yeah, good stuff. I mean, this is my bad. I probably should have set this up before. I just wanted to kind of take everyone through the process of setting up a Vue installation from scratch, but maybe I need admin privileges on this account. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to do it without that because of the programming stuff. Because I was trying to get around giving myself admin privileges, but I don't know if I can. User email and accounts. You can run a privileged CMD. That is true. That you're not wrong there. Run as administrator. Again, privacy, even though you can't really see. And then view -- version. See, it still does the same thing because I probably screwed up everything now. stream account because I can't find the module. Okay, but if I just do, seems like a solid how-to for troubleshooting. I mean, yes, but yeah, I'll get to the end. I'll get to the bottom of this, that's for sure. Okay, so one thing I do need to do is I need to make sure that Git bash can even run Vue. It might not be able to. That's my one thought process. So I'm just going to do a regular command prompt. Again, security, and then Vue -- version. Still throws the same error, so that's not the problem. That's fine. So what I need to do now is just go back to environment variables and make sure that I did this correctly. So inside of path, let's delete the one that I created. Let's make sure that it's not because I created some, crappy one. Okay. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Git bash. Run as administrator. Security. Security. No, what? CDN view. Yeah, that's true. That's not a bad idea. I might get to there right now. Vue -- version. Okay. Okay. I think I can do this with a privileged terminal. So actually that could be all right. So let's just ls, let's see what's up over here. Yeah, I'm in the wrong directory, but that's fine. We can cd to c, cd to users, and then cd to streaming account, then cd to documents, working directory. Perfect. Let's just create something from scratch. Screw the Git repo that we just created. I'll create another one, or I'll just migrate this to that Git repo after the call. I just want to get started here now. So Vue create, what are we doing here? Vue create Twitch test 1. And it's going to take me through some questions, and we're actually back on track for this. Okay. All right. Pick one. Use arrow keys. Yeah. We're going to go with a simple one, I think. I don't think we need router or vuex for this, so good. Still selected the one that I wanted, the one that I didn't want, so that's fine. That's all good. Oh, good. We have 5 viewers, and we're starting to take off right now with the actual code. So get ready. So if you're just joining us, we're going to be building a Vue.js app that will take in an API, create a grid layout based on that API with some information in each box, and then we'll have a search bar or a search text box where we'll be able to kind of search through different fields in that API all in real time, all really quickly. It's going to be kind of like an Elasticsearch. It's something that I just did recently for an actual project that I'm working on, and I found it kind of cool, and I wanted to show people how to do it and how I went through the process of actually figuring it out. And hopefully people will learn something, and I'll learn something, and we'll all be one happy HTML All the Things family. I'm sure Matt is extremely upset that I said that. That's why I said it. Okay, so now let's open up a folder. I believe we want the newest one. Here we go. Let's do this. All right, so one thing I do want to open up is I just want to open up a file that I created recently in documents called to do, so that we can kind of take a look at. So right now, really what we've gotten through are these 2 first points. So we're on find an API. So what does everyone want to kind of search through? So let's find free open APIs. And then it'll probably give us some sort of list. And what do you think? What do we want? Do we want Pokemon that kind of has been used to death, I think? So I'm thinking something a little more outside the box, but I still want something kind of like Pokemon where we can go through with a lot of different things. Yeah. Movies, yeah, Matt wants movies. That's fine. We could do movies if everyone's okay with that, which everyone is like 1 or 2 people right now, but that's all good. Let's see, movies. Movie reviews. Boo. Okay, no movies. All right. Video games. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. I kind of like the video game one. Okay, so video game API JavaScript. Let's just take a look. Rapid API, Phaser, a fast, free, open source HTML5. What, HTML5 game framework? No, we don't want that. We want an open API. Top 5 open source JavaScript. No. We got to find that Git repo with all those APIs in it. So video free APIs. There we go. That Git repo that I was talking about just randomly popped up there. Now we want to go to gaming. Not Riot Games. We don't want Riot Games. Let's see. Is there one that just has like a bunch of games in it? Ooh, a deck of cards. But no, that's ridiculous. That would not work with my searching. I don't see one that has like just a bunch of games. Steam. You know what? Steam might not be bad because Steam might have a bunch of games, but Steam might also be a kind of a pain in the ass to work with because of its because of how complicated it could be. So API returns a general object. Magic the Gathering might not be bad. I don't know much about Magic though. That's my problem. So I don't know what I would be displaying. I have played it once or twice, and I'm always interested in collecting stuff. I'm actually, you know what? This is going to be a little bit geeky, but I used to collect these Lord of the Rings trading cards. There was a Lord of the Rings trading card game made by Decipher that was kind of like Magic, and those cards were awesome. D&D is not a bad one too. So Steam Web API. If there's like a simple D&D one would be cool. But Dungeons and Dragons. Ooh, monsters, like just a bunch, displaying a bunch of D&D monsters would be cool. I'd be totally down for that. Monsters? Like, is it that easy? Yes, it is that easy, and it has a URL for the monsters. What's the base URL though? I guess this would be the base URL. Okay, that's cool. I think, yeah, let's do monsters. Let's do D&D monsters. Everyone good with that? I mean, I'm just gonna do it and assume that everyone agrees with me because I am the king of this Twitch chat. All right, because this one seems really simple. I like how simple it is. Yeah, these are going to be just pure dragons. We're just going to... Is this only dragons? No. There's definitely a bunch of different stuff. So what I want to see actually is what this... Right. I just want to see what this returns. So it returns everything about that monster. That's cool. So we can have a box, like a grid view of a bunch of the monsters. And then when you click on it, I mean, I'm probably not going to do the clicking functionality in this stream. But when you click on it, I can see it pulling up all the information about that monster. And that would be interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of sites that do this, but that's awesome. Does it have a picture? That's my question. I was kind of hoping to display a picture in that grid, but I don't think it has a URL for an image of that monster, which is fine. We don't really care. Let's be serious. If you're tuning into this, you don't really care. Okay. All right. So, cool API. I think we've nailed down the API now. Now let's pull it in and start building out a UI in our VS Code. So let's do that. So what do we have now? what we need to do is we need to run npm install to get whatever packages come pre-installed into Vue, and make sure that npm run serve will work just fine, which is our development server for Vue. This will allow us to have live reload. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Oh, good security stuff. Might have an image. Ooh, okay. That's true. That ID might have an image. Where do you think the image would? This ID? I don't know about that, but I was thinking if there is an image, it'll probably be called img or image. So I don't think it'll have an image with it. Most likely because they would have to license those images, and D&D is extremely crazy with their licensing. So I'm probably not going to do that, but yeah, no, probably not going to be an image this time. Sorry, guys. As much as I want there to be an image, there's not going to be. So yeah, so we're good to go. So this is the development environment all set up. That's what we want to see. The way we know it's the environment set up is if I were to, let's say, split the screen right now real quick and go to the Hello World component. I'm not going to do much of a breakdown of what Vue is because there's a lot of that out there. So I'm not going to bore everyone, but what essentially it is just a reactive framework, kind of like React, Angular, stuff like that, Svelte, if you've heard of it. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to quickly develop reactive web apps and websites. So if I just put something like D and D in here, shouldn't use special characters without escaping them, but whatever. You see that changes live. That's what the development server does, and it's fantastic, and I love it. The H1 message here, this is just another quick thing with Vue, is being driven by a prop, which is being passed in from the app.vue, as you can see here. This is how you pass in a prop. So message, again, this message ties right to this message, which is initialized by making it a prop inside of the component. So if we type in, as you can see, it's a welcome Vue.js app. If we type in D and D, welcome to the live stream, and click save, it will change that text in real time. All fancy, dancy stuff, really good. Yeah, hopefully that kind of gives it a little bit of an explanation of what Vue is, but it really just touches the tiny bit of it, obviously. And we're not going to go through too much of that. I'll try to take you through some of the stuff that I'm doing, but it's definitely not going to be enough. So watch some YouTube tutorials. I have a Vue.js getting started guide on Medium that you can check out if you want to just get a quick overview of what it is and how to get started. And it's much smoother than this live stream, that's for sure. You don't have to go through all those permission and stuff like that. I would highly recommend, if you're developing, always have admin access. That's the lesson that I learned right now, is if you don't have admin access, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to be hitting your head against the wall for 40 minutes. But you live, you learn. So now that we know that this is all working, what we're going to do is we're actually going to just delete everything other than that. We don't need the Hello World app component anymore. We don't need the Hello World component. We don't even really need this app font stuff, but I'll leave it because it kind of makes it easier for me to work with for now. Okay, only 35 minutes. Thanks. I believe that's Jeff in the chat, right? Am I correct? Jeff from the Discord server. Just taking a guess here, but I believe that's you. Yes, awesome, cool. So welcome, and thanks for sticking around. And let's keep going here. So what we need to do here is kind of just create a quick overview, a quick structure of what we're going to be displaying. So what I want to do right now is at the top, I can have, I don't know, let's see, what do we want to have? Let's do an H3 tag, or even an H1, Let's do an H1. And D, nope, not %. D&D monsters. Let's save. Let's see what that looks like real quick. Yeah, all good. Yeah, I'll split the screen again once I start to actually do a bunch of work on the UI. But for now, I just want to get a quick structure laid out. So I'm going to need a text input. And input type text is the default one, which is why I just didn't write anything. I'm going to need that. And I'm going to need some sort of way of displaying all the monsters. So what that's going to look like for now is just a div with monster container class. And then in here, there will be, what do we get? Monster name, essentially, and that's it. Is that all we get for this API? That's kind of... Is that all we get? Monster name. That's it. That's all we get without actually going in and checking each one. I wish we got more than that. But I mean, I could go in and do some checks here and get some more information about them and actually display like the strength, dexterity, constitution, and intelligence and this stuff. I could do that. And that'll be a little bit more complicated, but let's leave that for a little while. But first, let's do monster name, right? And essentially what that's going to be is whatever is going to be actually inside that monster name. And these will be determined based on our API. So what we want to do now is let's pull in the API. What we need for that is we need Axios. Axios is the library that kind of does the XML HTTP requests or the fetch commands or what else? How else can it be called? There's like a million names for this, but it essentially just it allows you to get and put and whatever, all the API stuff. That's all. Yeah, display the main stats. Exactly, Jeff. That's exactly what I'm going to do. You read my mind. I'm just going to type that. Yeah. Perfect. So what we need to do is get Axios. I believe Axios is part of the core package, but regardless, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check, because this is what I do in real development. View Axios. Yeah, I believe it's part of the core package. So what we need to do is actually pull it in, though, which this doesn't tell us to do that, which is great. Axios. Give me a... Yeah. Because what I do, so there's a couple ways you can import different functionality into Vue. One of the ways is you can do it globally. Globally would be done inside of the main.js file. And then what would happen is you wouldn't have to import it separately into each and every component that you're going to be using it in. I would only do that with stuff that I need to use globally, because although Axios is something that I might use globally in some applications, most applications, I'll be using it in select components that actually do need to fetch stuff. So I usually just import Axios component to component. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right now, the pattern for that. And I'll find it in a second here. And stay with me here. View Axios, yep. npm view Axios, I'm not sure. So again, this is the global way of doing it. I'm just seeing if there's a way of doing it not globally that they apparently don't promote anymore. They used to promote it all the time, where you could do it however the heck you want. Common.js. View Axios. So I wonder if I still have to do this. I might still have to do that. So let me just open up another bash. Make sure that gets done. And while that's going on, let me just take in... Let's just do it globally for now, whatever. Even though... kind of not happy with that. What about strengths and weaknesses? I think that I missed that, or it sailed over my head. What sailed over your head, Jeff? The strengths and weaknesses, or what I decided to actually show in total? Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, whatever. Just to get this moving along, I'm probably just going to do it globally like they're suggesting to do it in their documentation. So that's all good. Although it's weird because this is totally not how I use it. No, I don't like that. I do not like that. Vue.js, Axios. Does Axios just come pre-baked now into Vue? Is that why? Let's just see. I mean, it's fine. Components. So what we need to do here is create a lifecycle component called created, like that. And what created does is essentially like a DOM on DOM loaded event. Not exactly, but it's essentially that. If you understand the basic JavaScript, that's what it's going to be doing. So whenever DOM this component is loaded or created, this is going to run. Now there's a lot of different lifecycle events. There's events like mounted, which runs, I believe, a little bit before created even, I believe, and stuff like that for different purposes. And I have used all of them for different purposes before, but I don't want to really get too far into it. But I'm just wondering if it'll actually see Axios, which I don't think it will. Like I said, it's not really import Axios into Vue. Install Axios. Yeah, that's what I have to do. I knew it. Yeah, this is what I do. Import Axios from Axios. So now I actually have access to Axios within my Vue lifecycle component. Axios stuff. I think that's sailed. Right. So again, Axios is just a ability to fetch APIs essentially, or ability to get and fetch and put and like all the. I'll show you the GET request. See, like it's basic requesting, like external requesting. That's all it gives you the ability to do. So it's the same as the XML HTTP request in web APIs with promises and all that. I mean, I'm going through this pretty quickly, obviously, but if you ever need to load an API, you're going to be using something like this. Something that will allow you to request and receive information, allow you to send like authentication tokens and receive it. Ajax programming is what it's called. Yep. That's what it is. Yeah, another way to fetch external data. Yeah, that's perfect. That is the perfect way to do it, to say that. Okay, so now that we have Axios imported, what we need to do is we need to actually get our data somewhere. So we also need a data component here. Data, return return like that. And we need to store whatever we receive from the DND API into a variable to actually be able to use it. So I'm missing something here that probably makes sense. I probably need to do this. Yeah. So we'll call it D and D response. And that will be an array. Blank array for now. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting it in created and then storing it back into that D&D response. After we get it into that D&D response, then we can iterate over and create a bunch of these monster containers, which will all contain a monster name. And I'll show you how to do that real quick. So this shouldn't take too long, but we'll see. So what we need to do now is steal some code. Let's take basic JSON code. As you can see, they also use created in here. JSON whatever. And then we need to go into here, go back to our DND, steal. Actually, it's easier actually just to do this. Steal that. Boom. That gets our thing, and then in the response, it'll actually have all those monsters that we just saw. And then instead of this.post, this will be DND response. So that's where the response data will be stored. If there's an error, it'll give me that. And then theoretically, we can do a v4 loop. v4 monsters in D and D response. I am a thief. I am 100% a thief, but I do it legally. I don't steal from closed source stuff, so it's all good. So then we need to bind a key, and that would be monsters.id. And then what we need to do is do this. And what we need to put in here is whatever monsters, probably .name would be, but we can double check that from a couple different ways. The first way would be just to check here, and it is monsters.name. And we'll see what happens. So I'm going to save this. This is probably 90% going to error out, and we'll work from there. So we want to run. Let's go back to our first bash terminal. Yeah, it's ran. Let's see what we got. View. So it did run, it looks like, but nothing showed up on the screen, which is fine. One thing I will have to probably add at some point is view property. D&D response is not defined on the instance, but referenced during the render. Right. So D&D response is probably because I didn't spell it correctly. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Did that work? D&D response. Okay. Let's clear console here. Let's do a refresh, even though we don't really need to technically because of how this works. But okay, so we're seeing that it's not doing anything. Most likely we did something wrong. So how we use this console debugging is we can go into here, we can go into the source, and we can actually go into app.view, find the right app.view that's actually supposed to show, where is it? What's going on here? App.view. There we go. So if we take a look there, take a look over here, we can put a breakpoint, do a refresh, and it'll stop on that breakpoint, and we can see what's in that response data. So you can see it's response.results is what we need, not response.data.results. And that's what's going to be, that's what we need to put in our D&D response. That's our issue right now. So what we're storing right now is response.data and then an array that has results in it, which is why it can't iterate over all the things and find the name. That makes sense. So if we go back here, and instead of storing response.data, we just store results as well, theoretically, boom. That's how easy it is. Typo in the v4. Good catch, buddy. That was a good catch. So as you can see here, it's loading all our stuff from the D&D JSON. So that's the first step, right? That's the first step that we wanted to do. Now, the question is, do I want to implement the search right away? Or do I want to make this look a little bit better? Because I did want to do a grid view. So yeah, let's make it prettier. Yeah, I think let's make each one of these into like a little box so that we can store more data in that box. And then eventually I'll create the search after that. So let's make it a little bit prettier. Something cool that I kind of want to show you right now is components. So I'm going to create a new file called monster. Actually, rename before we do anything with it. I do like to use capitals for components for whatever reason. Then scaffold. I probably don't have any of my Vue template. Yeah, cool. Cool. Some emit stuff. Okay, so in this component, we need a name, monster, And template. The template is going to be, if you go back to app, I'm going to close hello world because we're not using it. The template will actually be this. But instead of v4, it's going to be a prop. Props. Monster name, which will be a string. Okay. And then this will actually be just monster name, right? Okay. And now we just have to register this component in app.vue, which should be pretty simple. Import monster from /components/monster. And in here, what we want to do is actually register monster. And now, technically, I'm just going to comment this out for now. Take this, and instead of div, it's going to be monster. It's going to have an end. v4 monster monsters, and then it's going to have a key, yes, and then it's also going to have a monster name prop, and that's where we're going to put monsters or monsters.name. It should actually be monster. That's going to bother me. Monster.name. Theoretically, now key, vbind key directive. Oh, right. Theoretically, we don't need this monsters container. That's all we need. Save. Nothing should change if everything was correct. Okay, perfect. Everything's correct. Nothing changed. We can take off that breakpoint because we don't need it anymore. So essentially what I'm doing here is I've created a monster class or a monster component, and I'm just reusing that component multiple times, and it just kind of makes the code a little bit cleaner. So now you can see that, you know, monster is what's being generated a bunch of times when you're reading it, and then if you want to go and take a look at monster, you go into monster component, and this is where you would do a bunch of stuff with the actual data and styling. So if we were wanting to do some styling here, what we want to do in the style is we want to create scoped. What scoped means is that whatever styles here I do, like if I could even style a div here, and it would only apply to this component. So usually when you're, you know, being taught JavaScript, like CSS, you're taught not to style basic elements like H3s, divs, and all that. But since we're in a scoped component, you can style whatever the heck you want as long as you're okay with it being in that component, right? So it just allows you to make a little bit of a cleaner HTML layout. You don't have to use as many classes. You don't have to use as many nested divs and stuff like that. That's kind of the key for that one. And it also alleviates the issue of just having a bunch of different names, forgetting which name you've already used, and accidentally styling something over top of another thing. I've done that, I don't know, a bunch of times, but it never happened. It's never been a serious issue for me, but the couple times that I've done it, I've been like, damn it, and then I have to go back and figure out where I wrote the same style, and then, you know, switch the style names and stuff like that. But whatever, it's fine. For now, we're just going to do style monster container. Monster container is going to be display flex because I like flex. It's going to be justify content center, align items center for now. And let's give it a width and a height, I believe. Yeah, width. Let's do in pixels for now. 300 px, and then height, I don't know, 200 px is probably way too big. The other thing that I want to do is, first of all, let's do that, and then let's give it a nice box shadow. Now, since I don't know not much CSS off the top of my head, what I usually do for box shadow is I just go to a box shadow generator and I find something that I like. This box shadow is a little bit, I don't like that one. That one's a little bit better. So something like that, maybe. Just take that. We don't need both of them. We're not designing something for some crazy thing. Grid is better. Yeah, everyone uses box shadow generator. I get it. Yeah, I think you're probably right, but I feel like some people that constantly do this stuff like every day maybe memorized it. But let's take a look at what we have here. That's not exactly what I thought. There we go. Look how ugly that looks. Also massive boxes, like 200 and 300. I have forgotten my pixel counts. So let's have that and have that, not a habit, but make it a lot smaller. And then what we want to do is also create some padding, although margin probably makes more sense. Margin, let's just do 1 EM. And then what we want to do is go back to app.vue and actually have a container for this. .monsters container. Just throw that in there, and then we can style monsters container. Now, in the app.vue, we usually leave it as non-scoped, so unscoped, which means this is global styles. I use app.vue for global styles. Some people use separate CSS files for global styles, stuff like that. But it's really up to you how you want to manage your project. It's up to your team as well. That's another thing. Teams manage projects completely different. But let's style this monsters container. Display flex direction row, and that should be something interesting. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, yeah, oh yeah. We definitely need this to wrap. And our boxes are probably way too small now. Sometimes, you know what, like sometimes what I'll do is I'll just go into the console, and I'll mess around with the styles here because it's just a little bit easier. So flex wrap, yep. See how easy that was? And now they are the sizes are actually okay. Nothing centered the way I want it to be centered. So what I need to probably do is, create display flex here as well, and flex direction column that, and then now, okay, this is one thing. I don't know if everyone can agree with me, not agree with me. I can never remember the justify content center, align item center, which one does which. I don't know what the hell it is. It's just, I think it's a problem that I have. I've done it a million times. And then here I'll need to do, oh yeah, if you're honest, you remember it, you son of a. All right, so that's what I need to do. So that kind of gives me an idea of what I need to do. Now I've done way too much in the console, so I'm gonna definitely forget a couple things, but that's fine. I can just copy these in the app.vue, then hashtag app. We'll get all that stuff. Then this, I can go back into monsters container, get me a flex wrap, right? And that should be it. I might have forgotten something. That looks fine. Okay, so that looks better, right? Like, I think that looks better. We probably need some more information. Although, having said that, I kind of just want to do the search at this point. So let's do the search. The search is kind of cool. I kind of want to show you the search. And then maybe in the next stream, we'll style this a little bit more. We'll actually make it have separate pages and stuff like that. We'll just make it a little bit better. One thing that I did notice is these this text is going a little bit too close to the edges. So what we're going to need to do actually is put some padding. So padding 1 EM, that's way too much. 0.2 EM, something like that. That should be okay. Yeah. So let me just quickly do that, and then we'll get into the search. Flex direction. Yeah, they do invert the function, but what is like, okay, can you give me a breakdown of what that function is? So I get that they invert the function based on the direction, but like, again, what is justify content and what is align items? Just give me that breakdown, even though I can easily just hover over these and it'll tell me. Align flex items along the main axis of the current line. So the main axis is that direction. Is that correct? So if it's flex direction row, then the main axis is horizontal. If it's flex direction column, then the main axis is vertical. It's kind of getting dark in here. I'm just going to turn on the light real quick. 1 second. Although my light kind of sucks. Ooh. You know what? I might get blown out from the back, but that's fine. Okay, perfect. That's right. Okay, awesome. So I just need to follow that. So I'll justify content is main axis, align items is the cross axis. Okay. I'll try to remember that because I use it so goddamn much. Like, even though I'm not a front end layout developer for the most part, I do a lot of front end layout scaffolding. Like, in my job, what I'll do is I'll lay out all the functionality of the front end without worrying about like the little nitty gritty, like, you know, this margin needs to be 10 pixels, this padding needs to be 1 pixel and stuff like that. I don't worry about that stuff. I just lay it out. I lay it out basically how it's supposed to be. Put all the functionality in, tie in the APIs, tie in the front end to the back end, do all the other fancy stuff like the search and a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, there's a million different other business logic stuff that I have to implement. Camera functionality, stuff like that. And then I'll pass it off to a front-end developer, which will then go in and do the nitty-gritty and match it one-to-one to the designs of our designer. So that's kind of the process that I work with. That's why I don't remember this all the time. I don't work with it all the time. I mostly work with functionality-based logic. So having said that, I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was going into monsters and adding a padding, though. Padding 0.2 EM. Okay. Now, for search. So I'm going to show you how I kind of went about this search and how interesting it is. So with search, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go view search filter, multiple fields. So I kind of went into this rabbit hole of Stack Overflow because there's a lot of ways to do search in Vue, but this one I kind of really liked. Now I'm going to see if this is the exact one that I want to copy, or is this not really copy, but make it the way I want it to. View filter data. Give me a second here. I'm going to find the right one that I was looking at. So that we can kind of go through it together, and I'll explain to you how view search filter, multiple word strings. I think that's kind of how I want it. Yes, this is what I wanted. Okay. So what we want to use is a computed property. Computed properties are really cool because whenever the thing that they're looking at, so in this case, it'll be the input box. Whenever the input box changes, it will update and it will run this code, whatever you put in here. So what we want to do is whenever we input into the input box, and I'll just show you what I mean there. Whenever we input, like, you know, if we input A, it should only show us the A dragons. Or the A, sorry, not the A dragons, but the A monsters. And then, but as soon as we add another letter, so if I put an AD, I want it to only show us the ones that start with AD. But then not only that, What I want it to be able to do is detect multiple words. So if I were to like, put a space in and start typing in a separate word, it'll detect that separate word and start searching. What's really cool about that, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to show it here, is that you can have multiple word searches through multiple categories in a specific box or in a specific object. So if this had, monster name, monster type, monster strength, I could search for the name, space, type it, start typing in a type, and it'll actually filter by name and type, and then press space and then start typing in an attack that I want or whatever, the number that I want, and it'll start filtering by the number as well, all live. So that's kind of where I'm at. But for now, let's just search by the name, and I'll add the advanced functionality later, probably in a later stream. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Matt, you're saying that looks good because when you stream, well, actually, you don't stream with your camera, do you? You stream without the camera, and it's dark as hell in your basement. So you couldn't even stream if you had the camera. At some point, you're going to need to buy some lights. Everyone wants to see your face. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm just giving you hell. Because I can, and you can't say anything. Oh yeah, I'm not turning any lights, yeah. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to implement the search. So what we have is a text box. We need to bind that text box to a variable. So let's bind it to a variable. Let's call the variable search query. Okay. Search query will be a computed property. Now I'm just trying to remember because I did this last week, and I need to make sure that my head. No. Search query will be a separate term. Yeah, a separate data variable, I believe. Yeah, that's right. Search query will be nothing. Energy efficient. You're not doing it because of energy efficiency. Don't high road me there. No energy efficiency there. Exactly. He has a million different like smart home appliances that are constantly eating up energy. Like he's being listened to by every possible AI in the history of humanity, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he has a Watson machine in his house that's just like constantly trying to beat him at Jeopardy at this point. 90% sure that that's the case. But yeah, so we have a search query. The entire home's being recorded. Yep. So what we want to do now is create that computed component. Yeah, we can do that. I believe. Actually, we don't even need to do that. We can do it like so. We go back here, and what we need is filtered list. Yes. Slice. Yeah. Yep. Let's paste that in. Again, this is how coding is done. I want people to kind of understand that it's not always like, you just memorize it from the top of your head and write. A lot of it is you find good articles or good Stack Overflow suggestions and you manipulate them. So right now I just kind of copied over a Stack Overflow suggestion. I will manipulate this extremely. Like it'll be pretty different by the end of it, but still going to use it as a base because it's just faster. Like I don't want to memorize all this. I'm only going to need to search. I'm only going to need to implement search like another, a few times in my life, probably, maybe more, but still. I don't need to memorize it. That's kind of how I roll with this. Not for everyone, maybe. Maybe other people have really good memories and they don't need that, but just how it is. So what we need is a computed, so it's going to be a searched result. Okay. And then we're going to need to take this, put it into the search result. Now all the errors will go away. Get it all tabbed nice and well. This dot filter input. Nope. This dot search query. Character add to uppercase. I'm gonna go to lowercase actually. I'm actually using some ones that I don't know, so that might be interesting. Plus filter input splice one, not filter input. This dot search query. Return customers and not customers. We want D&D response. Filter monster. Okay, and then what we want to do is return monster dot name. Right now we only have monster.name, so we don't need to return all these other ones. So what we're finding is we're using index of, which searches an array of elements. In this case, the array is actually a string because JavaScript kind of interprets stuff willy-nilly. So if you think about it, an array can be interpreted as a string can be interpreted as an array of characters. So each character is its own element in the array. So that's how JavaScript works. Some people love it, some people hate it because it's kind of, it's doing it all willy-nilly without telling you what it's doing. But in this case, I kind of like it because, yeah, willy-nilly. I'm going to say that a lot. It's going to be kind of my catchphrase probably for the streams. But definitely, yeah. So it's going to interpret it as an array, and I'm going to see if the letters that I'm typing in are inside of whatever in each element are present in each element in the sequence that I'm typing them in. And it's going to kind of do it live. So it's not going to do anything right now because I haven't actually done search result anywhere. So return that. So return that. So if, first of all, just trying to think, because there's like a little bit of a better way to do this as well. There's one more step that you can take where I don't have to multiple search, view search multiple fields. Let's try that. How do I search through multiple properties in a sort list? Yes. Come on, filtered people. If they return this dot people. Includes, yeah. Not exactly what I wanted. I'm just trying to, essentially what I'm trying to find is a way to return, if it finds something, then return the found items in the field. But if it finds nothing, return the entire array. So that I can only do search result instead of having to use D&D response and search result. I think I'm going to try to do this ad hoc. So index value is greater than 1. What I'm going to do first is, instead of return there, I'm going to do if that return. Right? So if it finds something, then it returns it, but that's a filter, so it's gonna actually find it no matter what. Okay, no. I gotta think this one through. Good phrase you use a lot often. That's good, Jeff. You should use that phrase often because it's fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna find what I want and I'm gonna use it. This is gonna be another one of those bashing my head against the table moments, but I'm going to do it. Okay, so if you search filter, that's not what I want. Filters, maybe. Lower space, yeah. So the other thing I can do is I can just try to work it out logically, which I might do. I might try to do it logically in my head, just through code. So right now, what this is doing is going through D&D response and filtering it by monster. Should be by yes. So it goes through each and every D&D response, and then it tries to look for value. whatever's in value. So anytime value is changed, which is anytime you enter anything into the text box, value will be changed. It will continue to search. It'll do another search. The reason it works really well as well is that it caches these searches. So if you search the first time for A and it's a little slow, now it won't be slow now, but if it is a little slow and you have a big data set, the next time you search for A, it actually cached that search for you, so it'll be quick. So it's another really cool thing about computed properties. It caches the results of every time you kind of change things. How long it cached for, I don't know. Okay, let's see. Dang Flabbit. Dang Flabbit's a good one. Dang Flabbit's a good one. Yeah, that's true. I don't know why I don't just swear a lot. I could swear because I don't have small children running around, but I just don't. I don't know. I know Matt would probably disapprove. Okay, so what I could do is this dot filter. So what it's going to do is it's going to return an array. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a let reactive array equal that, and then if reactive array dot length is greater than 0, return reactive array, else return this dot dnd response. And this will be an array. So instead of using dnd response here, if I just use this, theoretically, should still work. Refresh. Yeah, it should still work. And if I write a d u, something should happen, and nothing's happening. So let's just take a look and let's do some troubleshooting because that's fun. So search result is right here. Search result. We're using it correctly in the right spot. Now, if I were to go into this, A, D, so it looks like the binding isn't working. That's the issue. So search query isn't being run. So vbind search query questioning. It should be vbind colon or colon vbind. No. But I don't think that's how it is. Let me just quickly do a quick search on this part because this part's a little bit different. Yeah, class. Yeah. Remove space. Nope, don't want to do remove spaces. View. Search multiple fields. Yep. How to search for multiple fields in Vue. So, yeah, no, that's not exactly what I wanted. What I need is vbind. So let's take a look at vbind. Don't ask me how much I swear. Yeah, I know how much you swear, Matt. Although you have been cutting down, so that's not too bad. Vbind. I wonder if I have to do something else for 1 second. Computed properties, template syntax, object syntax, multiple values. That's not really what I want. Form input bindings. Here we go. vmodel. That's the problem. I need it to be vmodel, not vbind. Search query. Okay, so that should do something different. Now it goes into here. Array.length 212. Okay, there we go. All right, let's take that off. D. Oh, good. I don't even know where it's getting that. Okay, so what I'm guessing is it's doing something, but it's not doing the right thing. So it's this part is not correctly searching. So what we need to do is this value is the problem. So search query should just be, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with this. that should be as simple as it needs to be for a one word search. But it isn't. That's interesting. Okay, so it is searching the name, right? Index of value.name, monster.name. So let's take a look. A monster.name, aboleth, yeah. So that'll be part of it. And then index of A, yeah, okay. I'm going to take that off. And let's go D. A, D. Why is it not doing that? Okay, so B, E. Bugbear. I had to fight a bugbear, I'm pretty sure, in my last D&D campaign, actually. Yeah, you do catch a bite. Oh, my wife came out. Okay, so why is this not working? Through active array dot length, this and that. Two lowercase. Oh, you know why? Because I need the actual thing to be two lowercase as well. That's probably why. Okay, because it's searching for the value of the name, but it should be .2 lowercase as well. Should be the same. Okay, getting there. Now it's kind of working, right? You can see you see how it's searching any of the words as well. So if I write brass, it'll search for the second word as well, which is kind of cool, and it's doing it extremely quickly. I mean, brown, it'll search for brown bear. So okay, so let's go through it one more time. What I had to do. So I had to equate the value that I'm searching with, which is from the search query, lowercase search query, and I had to make sure that the name of the monster was also lowercase so that they were equated. Otherwise, it was searching, upper and lowercase, and that's why I was kind of screwing up. So this is a really simple search, and there could be a lot more complication. Like you saw those ors. Like I said, if I were to create and expand the boxes, all these boxes, with more info about each dragon and stuff like that, or each monster, I would then go through and add those search terms to the filter. So I would do that by just going or, the other monster dot attack, also maybe to string, because that might be a number, and then index of. It's the same thing. Same thing as this with the greater than one. And then it'll search every different field that I needed to search. And I can do that one by one. And it's actually pretty simple. Now, yeah, I think that's it. I think we've kind of completed the to-do list here. We set up the Git repo. That was that was easy. This was a disaster. We definitely went through there. Bugbear, but I did turn into a bear in the last session. My group, gotta love druids. Yep. They're called programming words around these parts. Yeah, bounced back a little bit after that. So found the API that we wanted, which was D&D. Fetched the API with Vue, create a simple grid layout. Yeah, we did that. And then show some boxes. So the only thing that I wanted to do was actually have multiple fields to search through, which I didn't, but I can leave that for the next stream plus some other stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do in the next stream to add to this, but I might, expand this layout. I might add it so that we can actually go into each one of these and view some more information. I'll try to think of something else cool that I can show you inside of Vue or in like programming in general. Maybe filtering, like actually sorting all this information. So you're not just sorting by A to Z, maybe sort by like the strength of each monster, stuff like that. Maybe that'll be interesting. But yeah, I think that's it. Thanks a lot for viewing my first ever stream. Hopefully you learned something. And even if you didn't, hopefully you were entertained. Check us out at HTML All the Things. We're on Twitter at HTML All the Thing, or at HTML Everything, Instagram HTML All the Things. We have a podcast called HTML All the Things. Check us out. I'm sure I missed a bunch of other call outs that I probably should have done. Maybe we'll be a little bit more organized next time. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being in the chat, by the way, Jeff and Matt. And there was a couple of more people, actually, or at least one more person. Thanks for them, too. I'll talk to you guys later.